More and more of us are having trouble making the mortgage payment each month. Foreclosures are spiking. Imagine losing your family's home. What would you be willing to do to save it? Here's one family's story. Rhonda Schnitzler and Hank Grabensk love their home in Loxahatchee, Florida. They hope to pass it on to their children one day, but that day may not come.
It's a worry every day.
Rhonda and Hank fell behind on their monthly mortgage payments and struggled to keep their heads above water. Then they found what they thought would be the perfect solution in an unlikely place, their mailbox.
Countrywide already filed for foreclosure, so that made it public record. As soon as that happened, flyers came in from everywhere. Stop foreclosure, we can help. And then the flyer from the Florida Housing Council came, and that was the best written flyer out of all of them.
How did they come off to you in their flyer?
Well, as soon as it said Florida Housing Council, I associated it with Florida.
The state.
Right. And then in the flyer, it said through federal guidelines. So with that, I figured, okay, this is something government-wise that will help.
To Jack Musa, the company's founder and managing director, the name isn't misleading. In fact, he says it's straightforward.
It's not a government agency. There's Florida Roofing. Does that make them a Florida state company? It's just a name.
And how does it help people?
If there is a need for financial restructuring, debt management, we would be called upon, and we provide a service.
As promised, FHC stopped the foreclosure process, but Rhonda and Hank paid a price. They became renters in their own home.
We got a letter which stated that we were now renters and that we were so far behind in the rent that they were going to evict us if we didn't come up with.
Wait a minute. So you get a letter in the mail that you are now renters?
Right.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
You wouldn't want to be in this house. No.
We were not happy when we got that letter.
I was crying hysterically.
The tears and the heartache could have been avoided if the couple had read and understood the fine print of the contract they entered into with FHC.
He didn't say anything about signing over the house to him, deed-wise. All we were doing was signing a contract to hire his company to help us out of foreclosure proceedings. That was it.
In fact, that wasn't it, not even close. What they had signed was an agreement to put their home into a trust and to make payments through FHC for 1 year, after which they had the option to repurchase their home.
It said that in order to get their house back after a year, they had to repay a $26,000 fee plus 50% of the equity in the home.
According to the lawsuit Silverstone filed on behalf of the couple, this would give FHC a 300% return on their initial investment.
We're saying they violated Florida law. We have an Unfair and Deceptive Trade Practices Act. They violated federal truth in lending laws. We have a usury law here in Florida. Those are the main statutes they're violating.
This isn't the first time that FHC has been sued for the way it does business. Why are so many people suing you and saying that your action is unfair and misrepresents your intent?
Every one of these clients that have sued, they have lived through the terms of our agreement in full, during which time we have subsidized their payments. Every agreement is only entitled to 1 year. After the year expired and we called upon them to come and resolve the interest in the trust, they have come up with suits that this is illegal and it's coercive, and we didn't know what we did.
The language is written in plain English. There's no quote-unquote legalese in any of the documents. It's actually written on what's been known as a 5th grade level.
Here's an excerpt from the contract. For the purpose of acquiring beneficial interest in a title-holding land trust in which a third-party corporate trustee shall hold title to the subject trust property, etc. For now, Rhonda and Hank are still in their home. Their lawyer is trying to get the transaction with FHC declared null and void and unenforceable.
I get angry, but we'll make it.